Greetings everyone and welcome. I am Carlos from Everything Tech, and in this video I'm going to unbox and set up the TP-Link Archer D2 AC 750 wireless router with dual band gigabit ADSL plus modem. The Archer D2 has 4 gigabit ports on the back, as you can see, and it's got the phone line cable for ADSL connections and a USB port to transfer files and act as a server, and it's got 750 megabytes per second with a new AC standard. This is the most cost-effective router and will set you back about £60 in the UK. So it operates on the 5 GHz band with 433 megabytes per second and on a 2.4 GHz band at 300 megabytes per second. Some of the things that says in the box, so like I said, it supports simultaneous 5 GHz and 2.4 GHz to be able to create 2 networks, and it's got the broad coverage area with 3 external antennas for stable signal, beamforming technology, gigabit wide speed, ADSL E-WAN, USB port, guest network, parental control, 1-button security, and easy setup. So this is the side of the box. That's the front of the box. This is the other side of the box. So without further ado, let's open it up. And then we're going to go into the computer and set up the router. For some of you that might not be tech savvy, I'm going to try to make this as noob friendly as possible. But there are quite a few things that you might struggle with. If you do, just rewind the tutorial and go back and listen to it again, and I'll try to explain as detailed as I possibly can. So let's see what we get in the box. So it says here 6,000 volt lightning protection. Wow, that's cool. Okay, so inside the box, put that to the side. Inside the box we get a warranty. No? Anyway, it's just rubbish paperwork that nobody reads. TP-Link home solution, some products from TP-Link. Okay, what we got here? Public license notice, quick installation guide. Gonna need to read that and set it all up, and a CD, and it's compatible with it doesn't say it. I will assume that it's just Windows, but I will check. And then further on into the box we have the charger. It's a 3-pin connector for the UK, and a filter. These are quite small filters now. It's a splitter. And we also have the 3 antennas. I thought the antennas were bigger than what they are, but they are just the normal standard antennas. Nothing special about them. And we've got a RJ45 crossover cable and 2 phone line cables. And now that we've seen all of that, just put that back in. Let's have a look at the router. So it's again reminding you to read the quick installation guide, but if you watch this video, I'm going to try to make it easier than the installation guide. Okay, and that is the TP-Link. It's got like a texture underneath, like a rubbery sort of texture. I like the design of it. Can't see any LEDs anywhere, but I would assume that they will come on through this. So at the back we've got the antenna mounts. So you've got 1, 2, 3 antenna mounts. You've got the 4 gigabit Ethernet ports, and with one of them being a WAN port. You've got a reset switch, power on and off, where the power brick goes, Wi-Fi on and off, WPS, the USB and the ADSL port where you plug your phone line into. So let's put the antennas in, and then we'll plug everything in. And these are shaped awkwardly at the end, so I think this is enhances the connection. So one antenna at a time. You don't need to put them in a specific order. You can just pick them up and put them in. They do exactly the same thing. They're exactly the same antennas in the bag. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. 3 antennas. Okay, so now let's plug it in. So what you want to do is grab your power brick, plug it into the power plug. This one is a little bit. Okay, and then you're going to grab this one, the splitter, and you're going to plug the splitter onto your phone line. So you're going to plug this bit here onto the phone line, and then you're going to plug your normal phone, house phone, onto the left plug, if you have it like with the writing up. So your phone is going to go on the left side here, and the next cable, which is the modem cable, which is this one here, will go here, and the other one will go here, just like that, just like that. Right, so now let's go on the computer and I'll take you through the steps of the next stage of the installation. And just before I forget, on the top here, in this sticker here, you will need to remove these details, or like to write down these details. So when we go on the computer, you'll have these details handy so you can put them in order to access the router from the computer. And let's go and configure the router. So the first thing you need to do is go into your wireless, where your wireless networks are. There are 2 added ones. One is a TP-Link 2.4 GHz and the other one is a TP-Link 5 GHz, just there. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is click on the TP-Link 5 GHz if your device supports it, or the 2.4 GHz if your device does not support 5 GHz. Once you click on the TP-Link 5 GHz or 2.4 GHz, a box will appear here in the center. And this is exactly the same thing for Windows or Mac. In Windows you use Internet Explorer, on a Mac you're going to use Safari. A box will appear in the center here. Just put in the password that is under the router where it says wireless password pin. Put that password, which is a series of numbers, put it on either one. They're exactly the same. On 2.4 or 5 GHz, they're going to be exactly the same password. Once you put that password in, then open your browser. If you're in Windows, obviously you're going to open Internet Explorer. I'm on a Mac, I'm going to open Safari. And on the top bar, you're going to click 192.168.1.1 and enter. You come to this screen. Now we're inside of the Archer D2, as you can see on the right hand side here. And on the top bar you're going to put admin. On the bottom bar the same thing, admin, all in small letters, and press enter. Okay, so now we're in the configuration of the router. I know this looks scary, but trust me, we are just going to get the basics so you can get online and be safe. So the first thing I wanted to do is to change the password that we've just inputted, the admin password. We want to change that because it's the same for every single router that they sell, and obviously it poses a bit of a security risk. Anybody with access to your network would be able to log in with the general details that come with every router, because it's just admin. To do this, we're going to go into System Tools, and then we're going to go into Manage Control. and in here you see the current user is admin and the username is admin. And in here, this is how you change your username for the admin account. Either leave it as admin and change the password, or change the username to something else that you want. So we know that this is going to be admin, which is the old password. The new username, you either change it to whatever you want. I'm just going to leave it as admin, because once the password is changed, nobody will have access to your system. And then on the bottom is the new password, and you insert a password of your own. And once you do that, insert it on a second box to confirm the password and press save. Okay, so now it logged us out of the router because we've changed the password, and obviously we haven't got access anymore. So just put in your new details, admin, because I didn't change the username, and the password, I've changed it. Press enter, and then we go back inside the router, but now you're protected. It means that now even somebody with access to your router would not be able to interfere because you've changed the main admin password. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go to quick setup and click next on the first screen and choose your region and your time zone. I'm in the United Kingdom, so I'm going to choose United Kingdom, and the time zone is correct, and press next. In here, the router is asking us to auto detect the connection type. It's not going to insert your username or password. It's just going to detect what type of connection you've got and what service provider you have, and get all the details in automatically. But this has failed for me. I'm currently with Sky and this has failed. So try to go on a yes if it can find out your connection type and put in all the details. Great. All you need to do then is put in your email address as your username and your password from your service provider, and that's it. You're ready to go. If it doesn't, then click on no, and let's configure the internet manually. Once you click on no, click next, and now this is where you choose your ISP, or internet service provider it stands for. So if you're with AOL, you do that, BT, Bulldog. It's got quite a few in here of the UK ones. Obviously, if you select a different region, you will have the ISPs for that region. I'm going to choose Sky, and then in here it put already your connection type, but you can change that. You can override that to something else, but this is the connection that Sky uses for ADSL, so that's the one I'm going to choose. If you have a different type of connection, then obviously you're going to choose something else. So we're going to go next, and then this is where you put the details from your ISP, from your internet service provider. They would have given you a username and a password, and here you confirm the password. These details normally are not given out, especially on Sky. I managed to get mine, but I'm not going to go into the details of how to get your ISP. There's numerous videos on how to get the details from your ISP. If you're not with Sky, you can phone whatever service provider you have, and they will give you your username, which is not your email address that you get from them. It's a specific email address that allows you to log in to the service. So once you put that in, okay, so now let's configure the wireless 2.4 gigahertz part of the network. You'll have two networks. You'll have one at wireless 2.4 gigahertz for all the devices that don't make use of the 5 gigahertz network. You want to leave that 5 gigahertz network for devices that use it, so you can get the benefits out of it and it doesn't overload the router too much. So connect anything really old or that uses a BG and it cannot use the 5 gigahertz network to this part of the network, and then all the other devices that are more recent, say new iMacs, new mobile phones like the iPhone 6 that uses the IC network, then you connect that to the 5 gigahertz part of the network, which we'll configure next. So the first thing you want to do is, on the wireless network name, you want to change that. I'm going to change it to, say, ET, everything tech 2.4 gigahertz. That sounds fine. Or you can just put it like ET, say N, and leave the mode as it is. You can have it just a BG, or you can have it just on N, or just on G, just on B, but just leave it as mixed BGN. On the security part, this is where you're going to choose the password that you want to use, and once you put your password there, we'll go next. Okay, so now we're configuring the 5 gigahertz band. This is the one that uses A, N and AC all mixed up. You can have A and N mixed, or you can have A, N and AC. I'm going to leave it as mixed A, N and AC. And again, I'm going to change the wireless network name. And I can change it to ET_AC, so I can distinguish it from the other network. So choose something different that relates to the bandwidth of the network. So if you want to leave a 5 in there, fine. If you want to leave a 2.4, that's fine also, as long as you can tell which network is which. And once you do that, then you put your password, which can be exactly the same as the password that you use for the 2.4 gigahertz. There's no problem with that. And after that, just click next. Save your settings, and then you come to this screen. Now you're going to see the time zone is going to be configuring, operation, mode configuring, success, WAN connection configuration, success again, gateway and DNS configuration, success, and it's going to hang on the wireless configuring. This is only because you've changed the password for your wireless connection. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find our new networks that should be appearing in here at any time now. It's looking for networks. So here we go. The ETN is not appearing, but this is the one we want anyway. So all we're going to do is click on that. It's going to ask you for the new password, which you've selected just on the screen before this one. So you're going to input that password in. Mine is already in my keychain, so I don't need to input it again. And once you input your password again, then the wireless configuration will show success. Now we click finish. So now we're back to the basic status screen, which is that top option there on the left hand side. And as you can see, you are now connected. If you put all the settings correctly, if the username is the right one, then you will now should be showing connected on both in here, and all of your configuration settings are just down here. And as a test, let's try and go on the internet, and there you go. So I hope you like this video. Please comment, rate and subscribe. I will be releasing some more new unboxings, new tutorials very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.